The untimely death of Assembly of Manitoba Chiefs Grand Chief Cathy Merrick is still hard to believe and reverberating across the country. She returned home today to Pimicikamat Cree Nation, where a wake and funeral will be held. Our Truth in Politics panel is here to discuss the life and legacy of the Grand Chief. Jennifer Leywitz is a partner with Harbour Pasqua Strategies in Prince Albert, and Negon Sinclair is the columnist with the Winnipeg Free Press. Jennifer, Negon, great to see you. Tough week here for sure. Jennifer, let's start with you. What was the word? Grand Chief Merrick had quite a national presence many times. What was the word there and her sudden passing in Saskatchewan?
I think the reaction was similar to what we saw at Manitoba. There was shock, obviously, because it was so sudden, and a lot of sadness. Chief was very highly respected across Canada for being, a really steadfast leader, and I think a lot of our leadership in Saskatchewan and our First Nations people were shocked and sad.
Negon, were you able to take part in any of the ceremonies? What were you hearing people say about Grand Chief Cathy Merrick?
Oh, you could not be a part of the immense grief that our community is experiencing here on Treaty 1, involving such a brilliant and dedicated leader. I wrote a column where I said that she's probably one of the best Grand Chiefs that the Assembly of Manitoba Chiefs has ever had. She had this very small term. She ended a previous Grand Chief's term and then was reelected resoundingly with a powerful majority amongst the Chiefs of Manitoba as the Grand Chief. And then on top of that, her legacy on certain issues will be stamped for a very long time, particularly on the Search the Landfill movement here in Manitoba, but then also the reformation of child welfare. They were just involved with the final stages of the child welfare big settlement here in Manitoba over the mistreatment of children in the child welfare system by provincial authorities and the federal authorities. So her legacy is deep, and as she told my daughter one time, she was just preparing seats for others, like young people, to come and eventually take those seats. So she was really a person who thought of others first.
Jennifer, Grand Chief Merrick is being remembered as a leader who got things done, especially as Negon mentioned with the search of the landfill. But she was very vocal on issues impacting First Nations peoples. How do you think she will be remembered?
I think you already said it, how she will be remembered. I think she'll be remembered as somebody that, took a stand on a lot of really important issues. And, like Negon had said, right now we're in the middle of some really heavy issues. We're talking about Bill C-92 child welfare reform, with the big deal coming from the federal government, where we need our chiefs to be active and to be at the table having these conversations to decide whether or not that deal should go through. The search of the landfill was a big one. There was families that needed advocacy there. We're also hearing about the RCMP and Indigenous deaths that are happening within the hands of the RCMP and police across Canada. So I think there's a number of big issues right now, and losing somebody that was so monumental and such a great leader we're going to feel the impact for sure.
Negon, what do you think the legacy is that Grand Chief leaves behind?
So there's a really famous kind of moment here in Winnipeg, and you kind of have to be in the middle of Winnipeg politics to really experience it. There was a demonstration on the step of the legislature. Now, of course, Manitoba is well known for having the first First Nations premier of a province in history, Wabkanu, but he may or may not, but certainly in certain circles, like the circles that Grand Chief Merrick traveled, was moving perhaps a little slow for the families who were wanting searches for their loved ones at the Prairie Green landfill. And she stood on the steps of the legislature and demanded, quite forcefully, using very strong language, the premier move, and regardless of where he comes from, that he get off his butt and take some action. That, I think, is indicative of Grand Chief Merrick. Nobody was going to stand in her way when it came to the advocacy of her people. And unfortunately, I think, in the course of her duties, it's a very stressful job. And I think, if anything, that this is a reminder that we, at times, I think, are hard with our leaders as First Nations, Inuit, Métis people. But these are very stressful positions. These are positions in which a great deal of stress and, at times, your neglect of your health takes place. ways. And I hope that what we remember is not just the brilliance and the beauty of Grand Chief Merrick and what she did, but also that we should be gentle. We should be caring and kind with our leaders who are trying very hard at times to, in a very stressful environment with very monumental obstacles in front of them, that we should be standing with them and support them too.
Yeah, I think a lot of people will remember that speech on the ledge there, and yeah, a lot of people expressing concern about the crazy schedule that she was definitely keeping there. Thanks, Jennifer and Nigan, to you both.
Yeah, miigwech. Thanks.